Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to learn about similes. First, the definition of similes. What is a simile? A simile is the comparison of two like and things that share a common quality using the word like as, or a simile is a figure of speech that makes a comparison showing similarities between two different things. Now, where we use similes in our daily life? We can find similes examples in our daily speech. We often hear comments like, John is as slow as a snail. Snails are notorious for their slow pace, and here the slowness of John is compared to that of a snail. The use of as in the example helps to draw the resemblance. Now we know the definition of simile. Let's look at some examples of common similes. Some examples using as. These similes compare using the format something like something else. For instance, as big as an elephant, as blind as a bat, as brave as a lion, as cheap as dirt, as clear as mud, as cold as ice, as cunning as a fox, as deaf as a post. Here are some more examples of similes. As pleased as sponge, as quick as lightning, as regular as clockwork, as sharp as a razor, as silent as the grave, as slow as molasses, as snug as a bug in a rug, as sour as vinegar. Some more examples. As easy as ABC, as flat as a pancake, as dry as a bone, as fresh as a daisy, as good as gold, as heavy as lead, as honest as the day, as hungry as a bear. Now similes examples using like. These similes compare using the format something like something else. Let's take an example. Sing like an angel, eat like a bird, work like a dog, soar like an eagle, swim like a fish, have eyes like a hawk, sleep like a log, sound like a screaming baby, meander like a stream, act like an animal, fight like cats and dogs, work like a dream, sound like fingernails on a chalkboard, racing like a scared bunny, eat like a horse, gravitate like a moth to the flame, smell like a rose, shine like the stars, exploded like a volcano. Now, what is the difference between similes and metaphor? Similes use the words like or as to compare things. In contrast, metaphors directly state a comparison. Life is like a box of chocolates. Life is a battlefield. You are as cold as ice. My life is an open book. That baby is as cute as a button. You are a firework. Now you have seen the difference between the similes and the metaphors. Now let's talk about some examples of metaphors. Some commonly used metaphors, and the first one is her voice was music to his ears. A river of tears. The classroom was a zoo. His stomach was a bottomless pit. A heart of gold. Her desk was a prison. As with similes, avoid using these clutches in your writing and create your own. Now, some short examples of simile and how we use them in a sentence. Number 1. The glow of the tube light was as bright as the sunshine. Number 2. In winter, when it rained, He climbed into bed and felt as snug as a bug in a rug. Number 3. At time or at exam time, the high school student was as busy as B. Number 4. The beggar on the road looked as blind as a bat. Number 5. When the examination finished, the candidate felt as light as a feather. So this is how we use simile in examples, or this is how we use simile in short sentences. You can say so. There are some short examples. I know you understand it very well. Now here are some more similes and how we use them in sentences. Now let's see the sentence examples. Number 6. When the teacher entered the class, the 6th grade students were fighting like cats and dogs. Number 7. The diplomat said the friendship of the two countries was as deep as an ocean. Number 8. The desert traveler's hopes were dashed as when at last he reached a well, it was as dry as bone. Number 9. His opponent was trying to infuriate him, but he remained as cool as cucumber. Number 10. The laborer remained busy at work all day long and slept like a log that night. So this is all about similes and how we use them in sentences. Now let's talk about simile as an idiom. A simile is a type of idiom. It likens one thing to another thing. Similes often contain as or like as similes. Example, as heavy as lead, as strong as an ox. Always begin with an adjective and are easy to understand if you don't know the meaning of the noun which follows. This is a chart of the similes used as an idiom, like the first example, which is highlighted here: as playful as a kitten, as black as coal, as blind as a bat, as blind as a mole, as brave as a lion, as bright as a button, as busy as a bee, as cold as ice, as cool as a cucumber, as deaf as a post, as different as chalk and cheese, as fit as a fiddle, as flat as a pancake, as free as a bird, as fresh as a toys, as gentle as a lamb, as good as gold, as green as grass, as hard as a rock, as helpless as a baby, as large as life, as light as a feather, as old as the hill, as playful as a kitty, as poor as a church mouse, as pretty as a picture, as proud as a peacock, as quiet as a mouse, as red as beetroot, as regular as a clockwork, as safe as a Bank of England, as sly as a fox, as sober as a judge, as strong as an ox, as stubborn as a mule, as sweet as pie, as thin as a rake, as ugly as sin, as ugly as a toad, as warm as toast, as white as a coast, as white as a sheet, as white as a snow, and as wise as an owl. So this is how we use simile as idioms. Okay, thank you for watching my video and stay safe and stay blessed, and Allah Hafiz.